I think there's no question that transatlantic relations today are under a real challenge. I continue to think that transatlantic relations are relevant for our world. And I say that because it was the US and Europe that together built the world order that we live under today. And it's an order that's based on liberal democracy, free market economies, rule of law, rights of the individual, multilateralism. And I think that system has served us extremely well over the past 70 years. And when I look at this from the perspective of the United States, I think the major challenge we are facing is how to react to, how to manage a global shift of power. We see a rising China, which is something the US and Europe worked together for over decades. We should be proud that we've lifted millions of Chinese out of poverty, but it means that we're facing a different global order. And I think Americans and Europeans can meet that challenge by together defending those values they believe in. So I would argue the transatlantic relationship remains core to our world in the 21st century. The role that Germany plays on foreign policy, I think, is critical for the weight that the European Union carries in the world. Traditionally, we've looked to France and the UK as the main foreign and security policy actors in the European Union. But in recent years, we've seen Germany increasingly play a larger role. This was particularly true after Russia illegally annexed Crimea from Ukraine. We saw Germany play a central role, and Chancellor Merkel play a key role negotiating with Russian President Putin and encouraging the EU to pass sanctions against Russia. And I do believe that without German leadership in that case, I'm not sure you would have seen EU members coalesce around a sanctions policy against Russia. Now, there are still inhibitors to Germany playing that role, primarily within Germany because of German history. But seen from the United States, I would argue that it is very much in Europe's interest and in America's interest that Germany continue to play a larger role in Europe's foreign and security policy. When we think about Germany's role in Europe's foreign and security policy from an American perspective, one dimension that has gotten particular focus has been the amount of money that Germany spends on defense. And certainly under President Trump, this has been a particularly sensitive issue. President Trump has hit very hard the point that all NATO member states should be spending at least 2% of their GDP on defense. Now, this is a pledge that all NATO member states have made, but it's a goal that they want to work toward. So Germany has said, we are going to reach 1.5% of GDP by 2024, and that is not enough for President Trump. I think that issue of defense spending is going to continue to be an important one. I would argue that defense spending is one critical metric, and I would agree that America's European allies should spend more on defense. But I also think we care about what those defense dollars or euros are spent on, and there are other elements within the NATO alliance that we should be equally focused on.